Hello, Job Doer here, and today's little adventure, not adventure, that's a different type of video, assembly job is a, would you believe it? It's in the title. It's Billy again from IKEA, but this time it's dun 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 dun. The tall, skinny Billy bookcase, right? So, like I said before in another video, these are all named the same thing, the same Billy. But this one here, I have the article number. Is what, 704.773.34. Looks like it's made in Germany, yeah. It has some 25 kgs or 56 pounds, I guess the whole box weighed. And we got some dimensions here. We got a 40 by 28 by 202 centimeters. Or for, I guess only the Americans out there, 15 3/4 inches wide. By I think 11 inches deep by 79.5 inches high. Right? It should look like that. This one has a little color code on the end of the box. Right? This is the black one? Black brown? Something like that. Anyways, they come in different colors. In fact, I think this even comes like a blue color. Yeah, there's like a blue tall Billy case, one like this. And I imagine you can probably get some attachments and stuff, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what we got here, we basically already did the unboxing. We got some shelves over here. We got some supportive shelves here. We got a kicker plate over there, and over here we've got the left side and the right side there. And look at this, bag of parts, right? Whoa, got a strap. So now the thing about this bag of parts here, unlike that last one I did, is it didn't have any kind of, it didn't come like a little box. So I got the little box from last time. I'm going to put the parts in this little box here just to organize them better, and mount this camera and get to work. Alright, so the first step here is we take all these shelves that have these bigger holes in them. The adjustable ones here up off to the side, they have smaller holes like this here, kind of like not even a hole, it doesn't go right through. So these are the adjustable shelves. Off to the side they go. And the little kicker plate, this right here. And we're going to put some wooden dowels in them. Now, they each get two, I believe, on each side. So we got them here. Stick it in like so, just kind of line it up, press it in. If you don't have iron thumbs to do such things, you get like a little mallet, you know, a little hammer to tap them in. Or in my case here, I couldn't find my little hammer today. So instead I got a piece of wood, right? So just kind of tap them down ever so gently. And the thing is, you want to get them sunk into like this part here, because this is going to go in the side part of the left side and the right side holders. And I wouldn't say this is going to happen, but I had problems with products before where this here pokes out the side of it. So put them in here and thumb. Let's get tight. Okay, they're done. And now we're going to the bigger ones here. These right here, you kind of look them over and notice some, you know, there's some unfinished sides to it. One's finished sides, unfinished sides. And so what we're doing here is, we got the big holes here, and they go to these here. So we're going to put the one dowels in the far ones. Alright, it's like that. Like that. Give it a little tappy tappy. Okay, I'm not trying to really drive them through, I'm just trying to sink them down there. And same with the other side here. Both of the far sides. Now on these shelves here, they're all about the same. So I will do the other two, and we'll get back at it. Okay, so this is the bottom section of the, if you're facing this thing after it's assembled, the left-hand side. And so basically the notch back over here, that's towards the back. Now you have this hole here, 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 and these two down here. These two down here are wooden dowels, but you already have them in that one piece, the kickboard. Then you have a big one here, that's for a wooden dowel, and this right here, that takes one of these here metal dowel thingies, take the lock head on it, and so you could put two of them right down here in the bottom, lined up straight. Start gently with a little bit of pressure and try to get it to bite and just go in nice and easy, and snug up to the lip on the bottom of these metal threads here. Snug up to that. One there, one over here. Right? Now then, what you do is if you follow this up, there's another thing like that about midway up. You have the two dowel holes on the right and left sides and the metal dowels, and then at the very top up there, same thing. One dowels, metal dowels. Coming back to here, we're going to get some shelving now. I'll show you something very important with the shelving. It's so important that if it's not done right now, it's going to mess up everything. So, I'm going to grab these on here too, because I'll need them next. Okay, so you have shelves like this right here, okay? Nah. You have shelves like this, right? So like I said before, you have a part of the holes here, you have this part here, finished side, and you have not finished, not finished, not finished, and finished. So this here is going to go out towards the front, away from that line, but on the back of this, two of these shelves have these holes like this. Okay, it's very important that this is a bottom shelf, and then one's a middle shelf. The top shelf won't have these holes. So, this way here, we're going to have finished part going towards the front, the holes here going towards the bottom. And just line up these metal dowels here, and slide it on in there, like so. Then, we've got these little plastic headlock things before, you might have seen in another video. And they will go right down into there. So I'll change from the Phillips to the slot. And put in like so. And then a 180 turn, which locks that in. Let's stay here too. Oops. And this right here, we've got the that kickboard. Same thing, it only goes in one way, but you have finished sides all over here, except for, of course, the far ends. But you have this part here, and you have extra space here. So extra space goes towards the top, I believe. And so wooden dowels just kind of fit in here. Kind of give it a little shaky jakey and get in there. Or you can also use a little tappy tappy. Now, the other shells we're going to install just like this big one here, except for the fact that the next one up also has the holes on the back side, and also have the holes here, the big ones, pointing down. And when we get to the top one, you'll put the holes pointing up. Now we're at the top end here, looking down on it, and okay, so I'm a liar, I admit. These all three of these boards here, I thought something really important about them, but no. This here does have the holes in the back too, so no problem. It goes back towards the that little line there, that unfinished line, and instead of like this, where you'd have the top like this, you want it like this, with those holes. Because those holes, you don't really want people to see them, I guess. I mean, it's not going to ruin the stability of it or anything if it was the other way around, but you know, you want it to look like a professional assembler did this stuff, right? So we got that in there. Get those cam locks ready. Got two, one on each side again. Pop it in there. 180. And pop it in there. 180. Now then, the other side, had you, what? Who's that? Had you assembled this, someone else is trying to get me. Part of the instructions, the other side here, see, I already put the metal pieces in. So, all we gotta do is line up, make sure you have the right side, that unfinished line going towards the back, and then you make sure you have all your metal dowels lined up right, and you just kind of stick them together, right? It's not rocket scientist, but all right. So this right here is going to be lined up pretty good. I get started, and then I go around to the back end, way down there, and make sure that's lined up good. And usually the middle lines up okay, but it doesn't have to always line up okay. Ow. And then get those wooden dowels lined up. Okay, a little press fit, nice and snug. Make sure the middle's put together, right? Okay, so that's all good there. And now, 6 of these cam lock things, right? I'll start with the top here, and then 180, 180. All right, and I'll do the other 4 down there, and I'll flip it. This way I have a carpet surface or something smooth, right? Now carpet surface, towels down, blanket, whatever, but something so you don't mess up the mar finish on this thing. Do the cam locks at the bottom and the middle, and then I'll flip this on the front. Okay, so now we need the back part. You know, so your books and stuff don't just fall out the back, and it gives you a lot more support for this whole unit. And at the very, very top or the very, very bottom, which is this here, there's these side notches, like I showed before. You know, they go to the back, and they actually notch through on both sides, top and bottom, so you can feed this thing through any way. So this is what it looks like, and they made it foolproof, so you have holes at the very top, and the holes at the very bottom are the same distance. Now, if I flip it over here, you have a color that matches on one side, then you have this tan on the other side. Now, there's no real rules or laws of which way to put this in. If you put this in with this part hanging out, I can guarantee you your bookcase will look a lot brighter. You know, you can see stuff in there better. But otherwise, you put in with this darker side. You know, it's a darker bookcase, but whatever. In any case, you need to have some room for this. So we'll go back about a few yards here and start feeding it at the bottom, like so. Right, and it just slides up there. Now it might hit that middle shelf, or it might not. A little bit of wood dust in there, but not anymore. And there. So I got it all in. I know I got it in because it didn't hit the top part. And the hole, whoa, a little bit too much there. The hole in the bottom of this here matches that hole in the bottom of this wooden part, right? So, put them back here, and this is one thing that's been an improvement on IKEA's furniture that I've seen just recently when I built another shelving unit, I think. And I don't remember it from before. But instead of having where you used to just have maybe like little spots here, or places that you hunker in metal nails, they now have this thing here. Right? So you got this part here, has some barbed teeth on it, and then you got this part here, a little plunger. Okay, and so what it does is it goes in like that, huh? But this part here you put in first. So give it close to the hole. Right? Put this in and push it down flush. I'm going to go ahead and put the other side one in too. You can get it flush. Then you put the peg in the hole, right? And once again, iron thumbs, but you can also, you know, use your little hammer maybe, or a piece of wood there. So then, now I'm going to, oh, and actually, from looking at it here, there's upside down, so I did put it upside down, but that's going to be fine, because no one's going to read that after it's installed. And so there's 2 more to do up there, and then 2 more at the very top, and then we'll be done with this project pretty much. Just have to add the shells, and what could that be? I tell you what, I'll fill these holes up here, and we'll get back to this guy here and see what it's all about. Alright, so once again, it's Billy, and this one here is not like the other video, like this, the big one. It's a small little Billy extension, right? And now you might notice it's a little bit different color from the rest of the bookcase, and I checked to make sure this is alright. And the story behind it is now if you get this product in just white, I guess the regular price is 25 bucks. If you get it in a color, it's 30 bucks. Mind you, I think the whole bookcase is like $59 for the whole bookcase, and then just 30 for this top part. But they said when they bought the other one, this product was on sale for $15. Ah, smart thinker there, save some money. And it makes a conversation piece. So, this right here, much like the other ones, you know, not too difficult, I wouldn't say. I'll start with, let's see, this here's a side, because there's holes in it, another side because holes. This here's going to be the top of the unit. And there's a couple here, and a couple here. So, looks like we have part where the cam comes through, and a big one. This one here's the tricky one, because it actually has 2 different sizes of dowels, right? But the big ones fit up here, and one on each side. Where's my stick? Okay, give it a little tap tap. Okay, and this here gets, the other side gets some too on this one, big ones, but the small ones go on this thinner piece here. See, you got this thinner board than what's on the other unit. And this has a big one here with a little cam lock, which is a little bit different from their cam locks. And right here is where we put the little wooden dowels. Ow. So one there, and they got one back here on this side too. Okay. Once again, a little tapping time. Okay. Now, flip it over. Little wooden dowel and a little wooden dowel again. So, just got 4 of those little ones there. And I think got maybe just 4 of the other ones too. Okay, done. This one here, I got them there. Do this one here. No, this is the side. Okay, yeah. So this one here that we put the wooden dowels in here before gets the other big wooden dowels, and they go wide. The inner ones go for those cam lock ones, like so. And then once again, a little tapping. I hope this tapping isn't too loud. I won't know until editing. Okay, that part there's done. Now we have these here, the sides. You know there's sides because they got these holes here for a shelf, if you have an optional shelf to go in there. And now this here, you have 2 different sizes of the little screw-in dowels. You have this little big one and this bigger one. So this little big one, we're going to hold off on that one. The big one, well, we need right now, and we need a Phillips screwdriver for it. Alright, go retrieve that. Okay, so this here gets 3 of them on each side. So there's these little holes here, 1, 2, and 3. And like I said before, you just kind of start them off gently and try to do a little pushing pressure in there so it gets some bite to it. And then you snug them down to the metal collar there. Okay, now I'll do the other 2 here and then the other side, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so I got one side here laid out, and basically this here should be the front of the unit if it's facing you. So this will be like the left side, and we add to that this one here. Now this here is going to be the top. So we want these holes facing away from our camera here. This is going to be the top, and make sure that this finished side is in the front and not this non-finished side. So it's going to go up in here and kind of press it down. It helps to have a surface that's not spongy. Right, so I'll flip it around here from this side here that you can't see now. We're going to pop in some of those cam locks that unit's famous for. Alright, and here, and 180, and another one. Down here, 180. There, that's good. And now rotate it back around. We have this part here, and that is where this comes in. Now we have an unfinished side again and a finished side, pretty close to the same color. So you want this finished side facing out towards the front, which is over here, and also this hole. Right, there's a hole in the top middle. That's going to go towards the middle back of this board here, and it just presses in. Well, you do have one cam lock down there. Uh-oh, battery's about to die. Okay, so once again, where was I? No. So this is the back of the unit, and this is the front part, and you notice the front part because it has this big hole down here for one. So finish side, it's going to go in like this, and you have the back part here with the hole in it. Turn it up this way or something. The wooden dowels in. Yeah. Flip around like this here. Yeah. And then right down here, we'll sink in. Not this one. This is too big. This is where the little middle ones come in. Get out of here, you. And the middle ones just happen to be Phillips. or maybe it's either or. Okay, so this right here, going like this, and 180 it. Okay, got that part there. Then flip it on this side here, and like I said, you got this front side, and here's this, another one, right? So this just matches up the holes that's already done up here, here, and way up here on the top. With the metal rods, and slap it all together, so to say. Watch your hands though, don't get them pinching little pinch spots. That'll hurt, in theory. Okay, so this side here both gets the, I should have started the other way, but both gets the slotted ones in it, like so. There. A little extra punch to it there. Shouldn't have to really hammer in. 180. 180, locked in, and pop around the back here. You get that metal one. I should have one more metal one here. Ah, got it. Okay. Now then, if done right, this here's the top part here, right? Yeah, this hole still. And what goes in that hole is this long screw thing, eh? Right? Pretty snazzy there. I know that the other side doesn't have any threads cut into it, but make sure it's all squared up. And just drive it in there nice and smooth. I guess you could use an electric one, but it's not needed. Trust me. If you have tennis elbow, though, it might hurt a little bit. Or other sore form issues. Okay. And it gets knocked down. How does that look? Yeah, looks pretty good, I think. Maybe a little snugger. Maybe just crush it. Okay, that's enough of that. So, there you have this. But, are we actually done? No. This needs to get out of the way. Let's get closer. Go on the top of that down there. So, on the top of these things here, there's actually two little holes towards the front, and so it's probably hard to see here, but nope, not down there either. But I can slightly see it there. There. We'll put it out here in a little bit. So anyways, two little holes, and that's what this goes in, right? These little headlock screws, Phillips. So one goes here. It's nice and snug. And then one goes on the bottom. Down there. Let me get that done, and then I'll think a little bit. Alright, so you can see one peg there, And over here another peg, and that's a little blurry, but this here is the top of the unit, right? Got those two pegs in there. And now what we do is we take this part here, and you can see the little hole here, right? Because on the bottom there's another hole, and line it up. So we'll get there kind of closer here, like so. Line it up, and then once again the Cambridge things, lockers. Okay, so that's something like that. Put that in, and 180 that side. Or 180 that side. Okay. There, now it's done again. Little two-tone. And I slightly checked the math on this thing because, you know, now that it's taller, you know, is it going to hit the ceiling as it's lifted up? But now this is it. This is complete. Oh, except for, of course, the shelves. But I'm going to wait for the shelves for this to actually get installed. And I know where they want it. I know the spot. And so I'll kind of test fit it and see how it fits. When you do lift this thing up, don't lift it from the top box. Be very careful about that up there, right? The part you added on, if you added on that part. And the only thing that I'd say that could improve this whole situation, and I know why they didn't do it, is at the top part there, you got, you know, a joint right there, right where giant finger comes in. That joint right there, right? So if you just had like a thin metal strip maybe that goes across with two, a screw up here and a screw up there, like one of the flat ones, that would, in my thoughts, would secure that top piece on a whole lot better, and maybe make it so it could be like a, you know, anchor point. Because I think they say you should anchor from like the top of this thing, but as you can see, there's not much clearance at the ceiling. You know, it's amazing how it feels lifting this thing off like a quarter-inch off the ground to move it. But you know, just a little, even if I were to do, I could do like some plumber's tape here, and that would keep that from opening up. Because there's nothing supporting the back here, just that front has that one lockhead on it. So, alright, so I'm going to turn this thing around and find a stud detector. Alright, so what you see here is nothing. Here we go. So, floor molding, right? This comes into play. That there's only, you know, maybe 2.5 inches, something like that, so it's not too high. And I've already checked other cupboards that are pre-installed here, and it's going to work out okay, because one thing that these Billies do here, if I can just shift this a little bit here, is let's see, where am I going? Right down here. You see that notch down there? So that notch there is designed to have that floor molding sit in there. Now, here's a couple of pro tips. One is if you have carpet, or if you have hard floor, and you have a taller floor molding back there, because this is not too much. Well, that's okay. Instead of cutting that out, hey, where'd you go? Instead of cutting that notch up higher, it's better to raise it by putting some supports underneath this thing. You know, whether you screw them on, nail them on, whatever, just set it on there. And that, because these are built actually so that the back here, this is turning really bad now. That much is getting dark where I'm at. Okay, so yeah, the back of this bookcase here is built to pretty much sit flush against the wall. So two things that I found out here. One Alright, I took this here stud detector thinger bobber, looking for studs on the wall, and right where it's at, it's between two studs. So we're not going to sunk this into a stud to secure it, which I usually like that. So I have one little helpful hint here, and I'm going to work on it. So I'll be back. Okay, so the trick here is usually get some kind of a piece of wood board thing. We have this piece right here. It's about maybe 3/16 thick. And so the back around where your carpet goes, there's something called a tack strip. You can't see it now because it's back against the wall, it's underneath the carpet. But basically, with this unit, your bookcase, if it's back against the wall and it sits down, the back part might actually hit that tack strip and cause it to want to lurch forward. So having this board here is going to support it more by having the front. And yeah, so it should keep it from lurching forward. So I'm going to try to shim this back in there, put this underneath the front, and I only got like, what, 2 inches from the top? But see if I can get this done here, and we'll continue. Okay, so the width of that piece of board goes from this side to this side here, and it doesn't overlap. It's right on, measured precisely, and cut it precisely. Anyway, so then now it's at the front here, and of course there's that kicker plate in the middle that's going to sit on this board, and so when the whole thing gets weight, it go down, stay in the carpet some, but it's going to cause that to more shift to the back, and should keep it from lurching forward. So now would be a good time to, actually now is not the good time. Now is a good time to find some heavy books. Put that down there and find something to kind of brace this whole unit from falling forward so you can have it set in your carpet. Like I said, if you have hard floors, you don't really have this problem. You just put it in the spot and maybe shim it so it's at a level. But since this is carpet with some padding, we're going to have it sink in the padding some. And if I look at the side here, maybe it's about 1 inch in the back, or maybe 3/4 from the top of that floor molding. So yeah, I'll find some kind of heavy books or something to weigh it down, and then something, maybe my camera stand, to prop it against the wall. So you don't want to, get cattywampus and fall over on anyone. And this is before the final mounting of hardware. So, Okay, so we're up here at the top now, and I got a stud detector here. Okay, so let's kind of start over here. Push the button. Let's start up. Looks like the battery's almost dead. I slowly kind of move it across. Okay, so here's the stud, of course, by the window, so we know that works. And here's a stud. Okay, I keep that a little mentalness here. And where did my tool go? All right. Okay, so from around there to there is maybe 24 inches. Set something up here, a little tape measuring. Let's see here. Now, if you start this thing here on a stud, it usually zeroes out and then you'll miss the studs. So that's right there, about 17 inches off the wall here. That seems pretty small to be a stud. But if I look down below, there's actually a power box where they have a plug-in. There's a stud over here for the window. Let me see here. Yep, it beeps on me too. So there's a stud there, and we've got this one here. Death ray. Okay, push it, let it zero out, and then you can go left and right with it. That's showing a stud just right off the side of this. Well, maybe I'm up in the header by now. You know what, they work upside down too. So, there we got a stud. You can see there that the red light there goes up to it till it goes green. You know, like about the center of it, right? So what we're saying here is right above here, there ain't no studs. Just me. And what we'll do is, as much as I hate it, we'll do a toggle bolt, right? Now how that works is, you're going to need those other braces here. Let's see, those there. Got those. And yes, that's the big box of braces. I came prepared today. So the braces that they provide are these from Home Depot. Are these braces here, right? So you have this part here goes up and down. Kind of this one here, a slot there. So basically, I'm going to put this up against the wall like that. Off to the sides. Don't get into your screws here. Remember, there's probably a stud through here. So I'm going to put it probably right there for one. And here for two. And you can certainly do them other ways, but the way these slots are basically have is that if you start it down here, and if this thing sinks, you have room to adjust it, right? Same with this one here, you have room for just outside of the, or from the wall. So that there's good there. Now another important part here I'll show is that this toggle brace, what you're going to do is, how this assembly is going to be is I'm going to take one of their washers, they came with it, all right, one of those, slip it on this one, abracadabra. So it's going to go through here, right, and it's going to go into this thing here. Now what I do is I make sure that, see, it's not all the way in, so it can go like that. Well, you don't need it all the way in, but you need it in a little bit there, a little bit sticking out, so it stays like that. And then this squeezes down, right? And when you tighten this up against the wall, so the wall's going to go between this and this part here, do this. Try to get that kind of motion, not this kind of motion, right? This will give you better support. So, we got all that done. Now we need to get a drill bit. And we're talking about drill bits. Bigger is not always better, but in this case, you know, this was how it kind of matches up. If I go like this, and if I can not see this behind it that much, that's pretty good. You know, there's parts of this that stick out like the fins, but we're about that later. So, eye protection on. Get this thing here hunkered in, tight. And now you could take this through, mark with a pencil, right? And we're just going to eyeball it. Right about there, I think, is going to be fine. And then right into this nice wall. See? Eye protection for that stuff. So, got that in there. And do I have my little rag here? I had a little rag somewhere. All that dust that fell down behind it, right? Don't worry about it, because no one's going to ever see it until they move this thing. But stuff on top, kind of sweep it off to the side or just shove it back there too. Get back there. There. A wet cloth would be even better, but I'll do that dusting later. So, got that over there. These parts here I like to kind of shove in, right, the paint. And then this thing here. Check how it is. Good. Give it a squeeze. So I can get through there. No, it doesn't want to really go through there. So I can continue with this, and it's the side pieces, right? Just a little bit more whiting there. Making messes is part of the job. Get back there. Okay, a little bit side to side, not so much up and down, because I think the up and down is fine. Squeeze again. Get it kind of centered on there. Give it a little bit more pushing. This is going to be good, I think. And like I said, you want to have a lot of this still sticking out, because this has to go in and pop open. So it's in. All the way in. There's an insulation back there, that's for sure. There. Now, it's right where I want it. The other part's still popped open down. And now, this is optional, but you should do this very carefully, because this is definitely not an ogre strength thing here. So I like to adjust this unit here, so it's right about in the middle, and I pull it tight. So I know that both those prongs are engaged on the other side of the wall there. And then I can just use this drill driver here to kind of feed it in. And stop there. All right. Do a little push me, pull me action. And I'll switch to the hand driver. Several hours later. And by hand driving, I just kind of snug this up. You don't want to break it through your drywall, that's for sure. So now that is doing good there. This whole unit's pushed back against the wall, and now they have the other part of this is these little screws like so that comes with it, and another washer. Now sometimes I actually do two, like one towards the back and one towards the front, which I might just still end up doing. And some washers have a smooth side, some have a sharp side. So sharp side down. This washer is going to go towards the back. And you know what? Even though I normally do these things by hand, I'm going to try to do the electric screwdriver here. Okay, so a little bit off the back of that lip. Try to get it right up and down. And got to get it pushed. And I stop. I always finish these off by hand. And I try to ogre it. Right, snug it down. Okay. That's one there. And I will do another one more towards the front of this unit. Not the unit, but this right here. And really, these are sharp screws, I believe. So you get it in there, you give it a push down, and you just try to turn it without too much wibbling and wobbling around, you know. Keep it straight up and down if you can. Like I said, you're not going into solid wood, you're going into compressed wood. So it's not really hard, but you don't want to do a lot of movement, because that just ruins the hole, right? It stretches that hole out if you move it too much around. Okay, there. That's tight. You know, I'm kind of shaking this thing a little bit. That's not going to go anywhere, I don't think. But I'll do one more on the other side. Okay, so I installed the top extender shelf again here. And you can see in the back there that really this part here sits on top of the sides of this just so much that the metal brackets that come through fit, right? They fit there, Now with the things in the back here is a little tight, but this thing here did cinch on, slide on. Put these back in here, these gray things. So we're pretty much done, except for one more thing, is we need the shelf thing, right? So here is this thing here. This is your shelf support. You have a pokey thing on top, a little one at the bottom. You have this thing here, so you just kind of for some reason there's two extra holes at the top here, right? So you can measure the two extra holes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right down here, and you have the peg that'll go in this little hole, kind of tight, right? And I just kind of push it all the way, and then make sure this part's stripping down, and I kind of pull it down a little bit, and then you got your shelf. So your shelf here, you see it has a smooth top part to it, the part here where the divots are at, and in the back part of it, and the side, it's not finished. So just kind of put your shelf in like so, give it a little twist, and cinch it down on those pieces there, and now it's ready to be used. Right, put stuff up here. I don't know, whatever you have, and here's something that's lying around. See, nice. Put that back before we find out. Okay, so this pretty much sums it up. It's stuck on good, well, for now. And yeah, questions, comments, leave them down there in the comment box there. And thanks for watching. On to the next project.